In 1997, there was a stash of science fiction films that did have enough brains to really make them household names. So films that people are bound to remember for a really long time. The most unhinged, wildest one is The Fifth Element. The movie is made by Luc Besson and stars Bruce Willis, Mila Jovovich, Gary Oldman, Chris Tucker, Tiny Lister, and what could go wrong when you put everyone together? Well, if you don't mind completely unhinged, out of control, wild mayhem throughout the film, then I think that The Fifth Element is going to be a good time for you. The general look and scope of the film, it reminds me a lot of what you would see in Blade Runner and Minority Report. And there's all these different aliens, different creatures that look like something that you would see in a Star Wars film. The movie deals with this curse and, how many hundreds of years later there's these aliens that are going to come down to Earth, and it's up to Bruce Willis to save the day because there's Mila Jovovich, who's like this wild superhuman, and he needs to protect her from all the wildness that's going to ensue. Yeah, the movie, I only saw The Fifth Element like 1 or 2 days ago, but yeah, the storyline in the Fifth Element, it's kind of crazy, and some elements don't really connect together really well. But at the same time, we're able to follow just enough of it, and we're able to really get a pretty good understanding of why some crazy things are happening. But I would say that it's the level of comedy that really gives The Fifth Element its edge. I don't mind sci-fi films that have all these weird-looking aliens, with all these flying cars and stuff. But the way that The Fifth Element is able to actually tell its jokes and deliver its humor in actual funny ways is what really surprised me. Because a lot of times with high concept films, whenever they try to incorporate comedy, it's almost like they try to appeal to the lowest common denominator. It happens a lot in these nowadays superhero films, but back in 1997, it seemed like they actually tried. They made a really solid effort for things to be actually funny. And I do think that just about all the jokes, all the comedy bits in The Fifth Element really do work. The Fifth Element isn't entirely a comedy. That's just one of its side effects. The movie is mostly just a regular science fiction film with a little bit of action here and there. And, seeing some of these familiar faces from way back when, and some of these legends now who were young way back when, seeing them in a film like this, it is kind of funny to see. Like, there's Bruce Willis with the full head of hair. Well, almost a full head of hair because it's Bruce Willis, blonde and kind of spiky. So that's kind of cool. There's Gary Oldman, who has a southern accent, and he looks really, really weird in this. But it's Gary Oldman. We gotta enjoy what he brings to the table. And Mila Jovovich, she hasn't done a whole lot of good performances, but she's just fine here, believe me. Luc Besson has done quite a few bad movies during his career, and this was sometime after he did Leon the Professional, which is rated as being his very best film. And The Fifth Element, I don't think is as good as Leon, but it's up there. It's one of his best. So yeah, I do think that The Fifth Element is worth checking out. Give it a watch. I'll give The Fifth Element from 1997 3 stars out of 4. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you again next time.